I've been a fan of Memphis May Fire for a long time. Back in 2012, the band released the album Challenger, which was huge in my musical development. It was right around the time I started getting into screamo, and this album was everything to me. I had it on repeat for probably a year or more. This album led me to find all sorts of bands that I listened to for a really long time. So why don't I listen to Memphis May Fire much anymore? Let's take a look at how Memphis May Fire turned their band into a brand. Memphis May Fire got its start when their frontman Matty Mullins joined the band and put out the album Sleepwalking. This album was different from any other album that Memphis would go on to produce. It was a sort of southern metal, which I actually thought was pretty cool. But the band moved away from this sound quickly, finding a more mainstream sound to take its place. While I liked Sleepwalking, the quality was not nearly as good as future Memphis records. From here they released The Hollow, which put Memphis May Fire on the map with the hit song The Sinner. But this was not the height of the band's career. Not even close. After The Hollow came the previously mentioned Challenger. Challenger was dark, but hopeful, and had amazing production quality. The songs were heavy, but had the same structure you'd expect from a pop song. I was addicted to them. It felt like I had found something I could truly connect with. The lyrics were honest and enjoyable. Little did I know that this was the beginning of the end. For me. Not for them. Something I want you to keep in mind is that Memphis May Fire is killing it. Their albums do great, and they're making heaps and heaps and heaps of money. Through any criticism I share with you, just remember, whatever Memphis May Fire is doing, it's working. Before I go into any of my true critiques of the band, I want to reiterate how big of a fan I've been and how much I want them to succeed. I've been to multiple Memphis May Fire concerts, including the Memphis May Fire / Yellowcard concert, which was an interesting choice. I've met their singer, Matty, twice. I've bought their merch. I've gone to TEI workshops hosted by Matty. I've even paid $15 to get a quick cameo from Matty. So yeah, I liked the band quite a bit. But that doesn't mean I can't criticize them. After Challenger came the album Unconditional. While it wasn't as iconic as Challenger, I still really liked this album. I connected to its message thematically and found strength in knowing that the band was singing about things I felt and needed to hear. But I also couldn't shake the thought that it sounded so similar to Challenger. The structure was eerily similar, but I gave it a pass because the message was different and not at all like Challenger. This would be the end of that though. From here on out, Memphis May Fire began to write about the same things over and over. Following Unconditional came This Light I Hold. This is probably my least favorite Memphis record. It does have some good moments though. The opening track, Out of It, was unique and much darker than Memphis usually goes. But the rest of the album was so generic, it was clear the band was trying to duplicate what they had done in Challenger. The song structures began to become formulaic and uniform. The topics were also similar and very clearly replicating the hopeful feeling that Legacy off of Challenger gave off. But at this point, they were still doing fairly heavy verses, which I enjoyed. But now, the great turning point. This is where Memphis really became a pop band disguised as a metal band. Broken. This album can be explained in 2 words. Big rock. The songs began getting extremely formulaic at this point, rarely veering off course. The structure would usually go something like this. First you play a snip of what the guitar will be playing in the chorus later to pump up the crowd. Then you do a low-key verse with clean vocals. Next, big chorus. Second verse, almost exactly the same as the first, moving on to big chorus, do a heavy bridge, and then finally, big chorus. This is a pretty common structure, but it just seemed to me like it was getting really overused. I mentioned that the band is still doing great commercially, and that's true. But it was really at this point that many people began to start seeing what I was seeing. Memphis May Fire was kind of just playing it safe, putting out song after song with the same or similar structure, with the same topics they'd covered before, taking almost no artistic liberty to do anything different from the past. It's almost like they were treating their band like a brand, which just so happens to be the name of the TEI workshop that Matty taught at Warped Tour. Aha! See? I brought it back to that. No, I did not just mention it arbitrarily. I had a reason for bringing up the TEI workshop that I attended by Matty Mullins. In this workshop, Matty told us his secrets to fame. Nothing he shared was all that groundbreaking, although I appreciated the information as a teenager. He told us to make sure our names and our logos were simple, catchy, and easily recognizable. None of that crazy logo stuff. Keep it simple. He also talked about writing marketable songs that would bring in money so that the record label would see you as valuable. All of his tips were useful, but not just to bands. He was sharing common knowledge taught in most business schools. Keep logos simple. Make sure people can recognize them from far away. Use bright colors and easy-to-read fonts. Make yourself look pretty to investors. He taught us how to make our bands brands, businesses, and that is a key insight into how Memphis May Fire operates. Sure, the members probably really enjoy creating music that is straight from the heart, but they tailor fit it to match what the record label and their demographic is looking for. They don't want to change anything because they already have something that's working. Now this brings us to today. Memphis May Fire is about to release their newest album. They've put out 5 new singles and could release the full thing any day now. So, have they done anything different with their new songs? Well, I don't know. Not really. All they've done is give us what they've already given us, but like, bigger and with better quality. The tracks sound really good, but they also all sound the same. Like, I bob my head, and I find myself singing the choruses to myself throughout my days, but like, so what? I don't really like the songs all that much. They're just incredibly catchy and fine-tuned. They're stuck in my head, but I wouldn't really be mad if they weren't anymore. But there you go, my thoughts on the slow branding of Memphis May Fire. I'm totally open to accepting I may be wrong here. Maybe I don't like the new albums as much because my taste in music has changed. That's fair, but does that make any of my points any less true? I don't know. We'll never know. Music is subjective. Who cares?